Easily overcoming the sophomore jinx, The Witcher 2 Assassins of Kings is living, breathing proof of some very important facts. PC gaming is far from dead, RPGs are far from dead, and adult gaming is far from dead. For those unfamiliar with the Witcher series by Andrew Sapkowski, or the original Witcher role-playing game for the PC, Witchers are professional monster slayers known for their problem-solving and killing skills. They are renowned for their neutrality when making decisions. They possess superhuman abilities after altering their bodies with potions and mutagens, and they carry 2 swords, a standard sword for vanquishing humans and a silver one for slaying monsters. In The Witcher 2, players control professional monster slayer Geralt of Rivia as he attempts to solve the mystery behind a recent string of regicides, one of which he is witness to and framed for. As the story unfurls, the plot grows deeper and deeper, and the finger for whom the blame falls upon drifts from one guilty person to the next. Who does Geralt save? Who does he kill? Which factions will he support? All the major decisions in the game are made by the player, and they all directly influence the greater story. None of the choices in the game are sticky sweet super good or chaotically evil. All the choices players need to make have their benefits and detriments. Sometimes the player will feel like they are choosing the greater good. Other times it feels like they may be selecting the lesser evil. In total, there are 16 different endings to the game, and even though we've only finished one particular ending, we're excited to dive back in to make some different choices in our game. For the first time in a long time, the role you play in this role-playing game has a very, very heavy effect on the story. Gameplay-wise, The Witcher 2 plays in a style all of its own. Combat is performed in real time, but RPG stats control damages dealt and received. Left-clicking is for fast, weak attacks, while right-clicking is for strong attacks. Magic can be cast through the number keys or by previously selecting it from a radial. Bombs and knives can be thrown, and traps can be set to change up your combat style in larger groups. Occasionally, quick-time events do occur, but they are kept to a minimum, and they are normally reserved for the bar fight minigame.
Wait till he drops his fucking guard!
Before joining in combat, Geralt can drink potions that he mixes himself to alter his abilities. They can strengthen his sword against specific monsters, increase defense, allow him to see in the dark, auto-regenerate health in combat, and so on. Ingredients for the potions are taken from the corpses of dead monsters and from plants and herbs. Graphically, the game is stunning for a role-playing game, and in terms of action and story, we feel it's raised the bar for some of its competitors. The gameplay, like the story, is completely customizable to the player's choice, allowing gamers to focus on swordplay, spellcraft, and alchemy, or a healthy assortment of everything. It is important to note that The Witcher 2 is not meant for children in any way, shape, or form. This is a 100% adult-centric game, and we absolutely love it. The game and story touch on gambling, drinking, prostitution, murder, incest, rape, brutal executions, unchecked racism, torture, and more. The game features nudity, sexual situations, foul language, and graphic violence, but none of the aforementioned attributes are too over the top or done for the sake of shock value. They all have their place within the story and within the Witcher universe, and they're all handled very tastefully. As odd as it sounds, it is absolutely refreshing to see a game made specifically for the average adult gamer. Is The Witcher 2 worth buying? Before you even reach the end of this video review, we can safely say yes, absolutely. It's worth every penny. The Witcher 2 is not only one of the finest RPGs of the year, but it's also one of the best of the generation, which ranks it high in the running for one of our favorite RPGs of all time. Any gamer who takes this gem home will likely place it firmly in their superlative lists for best RPGs. It safely holds an honor of its own among other great titles from Square, BioWare, and Bethesda. Of course, every gem has its flaws, and we'll happily point out a few of them here, but by no means are any of them game breakers. People who have never read a Witcher novel or played the original Witcher on PC may have a difficult time with the backstory or some of the terms used within the game. There is little explanation for the usage of the spells and their symbols. Players who aren't aware of what they are or how they work will have to figure them out by trial and error. Fans, on the other hand, will feel right at home with everything. They'll absolutely love how this story fills in some of the gaps between the novels and the original PC game regarding Geralt's death and resurrection and the fate of Yennefer. At launch, several gamers have had issues with running the game smoothly on their PCs, while others have not. There is already one patch in the works, and based on CD Projekt RED's reputation for patching the original Witcher into a level of perfection typically unseen in the game industry, this isn't a fear that will likely hold for long. Farming for money is made easy by partaking in the minigames of poker dice and bar fighting. Arm wrestling, on the other hand, feels poorly implemented, and for the most part, we avoided it. Most of the better items in the game are crafted rather than found or purchased, so spamming for money doesn't have too negative of an effect on the game. And finally, the combat in the beginning few stages of the game can get extremely difficult. The bosses prove particularly tough, even on a normal difficulty. Being outnumbered by even a handful of enemies can be a deadly mistake. This, of course, forces gamers to improve their skills, but we fear the learning curve may be a bit too stiff in the beginning. Get used to seeing the game over screen because you'll be seeing it a lot. Never has there ever been a story-driven RPG with the replayability of The Witcher 2: Assassins of Kings. Everything that was great about the original game has been amplified in this single-player masterpiece. The graphics, the story, the scope, the characters, the gameplay have all been improved to a degree that is almost unbelievable. The combat may be tough, but it is a rewarding experience. Get ready for this to receive several Game of the Year nominations at the end of this year.